Hello, good day, everyone. This is Creative Writing, MOG Senior High School, Sir Glenn Cadiz Arandilla, grade 12, UMS A, and grade 12 Gas. All right. So, Creative Writing, this is quarter one. We're done with module one, actually. So, let's proceed to module two. So, module two, let's proceed to module two. Lesson 1. Elements, techniques, literary devices, and specific forms of poetry. Alright, so let's proceed. So here, elements and techniques and literary devices and specific forms of poetry. So what I need to know at the end of the lessons, the learners are expected to first identify poetry and its various elements, techniques, and literary devices. Appreciate the importance of understanding the various elements, techniques, and literary devices in writing a poem. And write a short poem applying the various elements, techniques, and literary devices. Okay, so first, you answer the what I know portion. This is a test, a pre-test. Instruction, read instructions carefully. Recall what you have learned about poetry. Read and answer the following statements. Write the letter of your answer in your notebook. So answer directly. So we have here, how many items? 10 items. Now, in what's new, activity 1, on the space provided below or in your separate notebook, write one stanza of your favorite song and answer the questions that follow. So one stanza, just the stanza is composed of verses. The verse is the line. The stanza is composed of different verses depending on how many verses. So it's just like in a paragraph, the verse is the sentence, the stanza is the paragraph. Okay, so we have discussed that before. So try to identify a song, one stanza only of your favorite song, probably the best part of a song that you know, and then answer the following questions. Why did you choose the stanza from your favorite song? What is the message of the song? How does the song relate to your life? How did you know that song is a poem? In your own idea, what is a poem? So answer that. What is poetry? Poetry is a type of literature wherein words are laced together to form sounds and images and follows strictly the rules of meter and rhyme. Poetry is believed is the oldest form of literature. The oldest written manuscripts we have are poems. Most epic poems, telling the stories of ancient mythology, such as the sacred text of Hinduism, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and the Vedas. Poems convey thoughts and tell stories in lyrical arrangement of words. These are indulged with lots of imagery and metaphors that are made up of fragments rather than grammatically correct sentences. So six most important elements of poetry. First is a form. The way a poem looks, its physical structure or its arrangement on the page. A poem may have a number of lines or verse, rhyme scheme, stanza, and metrical pattern. But it can also be classified according to its form or style. A poem may be free verse, lack of consistent rhyme scheme. So if you encounter a poem that doesn't have rhyming words or rhyming scheme, that's a free verse. Um, and of course, a rhymed poetry rhymes by definition, but the scheme varies. Here are the three most common types of poems according to form. One is the lyric poetry. Lyric poetry, this is the usual type of modern poems. It is any poem with a speaker who expresses strong thoughts and feelings. Example, the ode is a tribute to its subject, although the subject need not to be dead, and it has elaborated stanza pattern. Elegy is not set, has no set metric pattern and is written to mourn and reminisce the dead. The third, sonnet. This is a 14-line poem which is focuses on the topic of love. Its two types are the Italian or the Petrarchan, which consists of an octave 8 lines, and the sestet 6 lines, and Shakespearean Elizabethan, which consists of 3 quatrains, and concluding couplet. Most sonnets that are very known are from Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. So, narrative poem, it is a poem that tells a narrative story which is a structure resembles the plot line of a story. That is the introduction of conflict and characters, rising action, climax, and denouement. Examples: the ballad is a poem that is either a poetic or musical which tells the tales of ordinary people. It usually follows a rhymed quatrains or sequence. Epic is a lengthy and deals with founding of a nation or any heroic themes by a certain figure or a character from a distant past. Descriptive poem, it is a poem that describes the world that surrounds the speaker, which uses elaborate imagery and adjective and more personal introspective than the lyric poetry. Example: we have pastoral poetry concerned with the relationship between the human and the natural world. Imagery is believed to be the only thing that will make sure or will make your poetry powerful and enticing. Okay? These are the mental pictures that the poet creates through languages. Rhyme, it is the repetition of similar sounds. The most common kind of rhyme is the end rhyme, which occurs at the end of the two or more lines. So, example: the mountain is high, but you can take me higher. The leaves are dry, and you're cold, and your hands are colder. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A B A B. Okay? Sound reinforces the meaning of the poem and rhyme going along with two sound pattern, the euphony. Words are chosen for their soft consonant sounds and melodious quality. She loves swimming and snorkeling. Cacophony. Words are chosen for their hard sounds and general obnoxiousness. So these are the letters. The king and the queen are chill. Common types of sounds play emphasize individual sounds within words. Alliteration, the repetition of initial sound in the same line or stanza. Example: Catherine's cute, colorful color. Assonance, the repetition of vowel sounds anywhere in the middle of the end of the line or stanza. Example: chilling while having chit chats. Consonants, the repetition of the consonant sounds anywhere in the middle of the end of the line. Example: she is prettier and better with Peter. Repetition and onomatopoeia, words that sounds like that which they describe. Example: boom, clap, hiss, roar. Repetition, the repetition of entire lines or phrases and emphasize key thematic ideas and feelings. Parallel structure, a form of repetition where the other or verbs and nouns is repeated. It may involve exact words, but it more importantly repeats sentence structure. Example: I can do, I can, I do, I will. The line is very important part of poetry, for it is like a sentence. It is necessary to put a period at the end of the line, which, since poetry does not conform to grammar rules. Example of poems classified in the number of lines. Yes, there are a number of lines like a sonnet, 14 lines, haiku, 3 lines, the limerick, um, 5 lines. Verse, a name for a line of poetry written in meter, named according to the number of feet per line. Monometer, 1 foot. Dimeter or diameter, 2 feet. Trimester, 3 feet. Tetrameter, 4 feet. Pentameter, 5 feet. Hexameter, 6 feet. Heptameter, 7 meter. Octameter, 8 meter. Stanzas are a series of lines grouped together and separated by an empty line from other stanzas. Examples: couplet, 2-line stanza; triplet, 3-line stanza; quatrain, 4-line stanza; sestet, 6-line stanza; septet, 7-line stanza; octave, 8-line stanza. Literary devices used in poetry. Up, as published by Ruchika Gupta in Success City's website. There, the website, you can visit that one. The following are some of the literary devices, techniques, figurative language used by the poet and add unique style in writing. Simile, comparison of two things using the words like or as. Examples, friends are like sunflowers in the garden. Anaphora, the repeated use of words at the start of the two or more consecutive lines. Example, class 10 poem, The Frog and the Nightingale. Said the frog, I tried to teach her, but she was stupid creature. Far too nervous, far too tense, far too prone to influence. Antithesis. Use the opposite words in close placement. Example, class 10 poem, The Frog and the Nightingale. Every night from dusk to dawn. Hyperbole. It is a Greek word meaning overcasting. The use of exaggerations to lay emphasis. Example, class 10 poem, Ozymandias. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Metaphor, it is indirect comparison by highlighting a particular quality of two things. Example, poem, The Frog and the Nightingale. You are Mozart in disguise. Here, the nightingale compares frog's singing ability with the great musician Mozart. Onomatopoeia, it is usage of sounds, creative dramatic effect. Poem, Frog of the Nightingale. Once upon a time, a frog croaked away in a bingle bog. So, here the poet used the words croaked, which is a sound made by the frog. Personification means gives human quality to an object or non-living things. Example poem mirror. I am silver and exact. I have no preconceptions. Whatever I see, I swallow immediately. Here the poet has personified a mirror because the mirror is describing itself. Synecdoche is a word or phrase in which part of something is used to refer the whole of it. Example, poem of Ozymandias. The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. Here the word's hand is used to refer the sculptor who made the statue of Ozymandias, and heart is used to refer to King Ozymandias. Gave the right expressions of the statue. Transferred epithet. It is an adjective used with a noun refers to another noun. Example, poem, the snake trying, pursuing stick. Here it is not the stick that pursues, rather the person who carries it is pursuing. Oxymoron, two words together that are opposites but together mean something. Example, mud bath, awfully pretty, cold sweat. So activity 2, determine which element a language device based on what were discussed above that are found in the poem below. So examples A, element form of poetry, or B, language device, and anaphora, it was just being true, just being honest, but still lost to both. So answer this part. Activity 3, read again the poem above, answer the questions below. So the poem here, the poem to the friends I lost. My God. To the friends I lost. Oh, we have a lot of friends, no? Let me just read that. It's a beautiful poem. Um, Answer these three questions. What I have learned, complete the paragraph with necessary word sentences that best describe what you have learned from the discussion. Write a paragraph in a notebook. Follow the form below. Okay? I have learned that poetry, blah, 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 blah. So that's it. Assessment. Based on the things that you have learned about the elements of literary device poetry, write your own poem of any form of prefer in your notebook. You may use one of more literary devices in your own poem. So if you have already created or you have your own collection of poems there, get one poem and then write it there in your notebook. Or it's the first time for you to write a notebook, have the free verse. If you want to make it rhyming, do it. But make sure um, do not copy in the internet or any song. make it on your own. This is an original. Don't mind of the grammar. I want you to make a poem, okay? And we will try to um, um, clean it later on, okay? So feel free to write. So this is the rubrics. All right. So lesson. Now you're done for this lesson. And we now proceed to lesson 2. We're done with lesson 1. Okay. So um, answer everything or all of the activities in your separate notebook, and we will proceed with the next lesson. And I'll give more instructions later in our GC. And that's all for now. Thank you and have a great day.